Dear Dhamma friends, today also we are going to start the question and answer session. As usual, we'll start with the written questions. We'll invite Vincent to present written questions to start the session.
Today we have 2 written questions. Venerable Bhante, during the Dhamma talks on Chula Sunnatha Sutta, the posture was mentioned frequently. Is the lotus or pyramid-shaped posture the preferred posture? I find it difficult to sit in the lotus position for long periods of time. Are there other recommended postures? Is sitting on a chair a hindrance when practicing meditation, especially as one's mindfulness becomes continuous? May you attain Nibbana.
In the particular sutta, that phase is not mentioned. Sequence is from the household disturbances, then to the monastic disturbances, and then directly go to the earth element. So I only inserted this following the Satipatthana Sutta. So when this is happening, don't worry about the impossibilities. That is the way you complicate it. Sit whatever the posture you feel relaxed, you feel symmetric, and then see whether you can take the mindfulness within the body. For that, if you are going to impose impossibilities or difficult postures, that means you are going against the body. Try to get the maximum support of the body. That is what you call the body knowledge. So yogis often make this simple thing complicated, because they have heard about the lotus posture, they have heard about this and that. Therefore, the just simple term posture is been so complicated. So this is the way we become theoreticians. We lose our pragmatic sense. We lose our practical sense. So that is in the discussion we have to rectify this kind of thing and try to be your best friend, or make your body the best friend, and don't ask anyone to do it. That means you are not believing the body knowledge. So sit in a comfortable way. Even if you are not sitting, you can sleep. Even the posture is there. Even you stand, even the posture is there. If you are sitting, ask the body, what is the most? And when you are sitting on a chair, no problem. But if it is going to show some kind of like a respect to other person, under such circumstances you have to be careful not to be arrogant by taking chair. But if it is agreed, if it is the express, no problem, whatever may be, get the comfort, get the symmetric and the relaxed posture, and for that you are the best person to ask yourself.
Dear Bhante, yesterday in the question and answer session, in response to someone's question, you said something along the lines of that the Buddha advised to look only at the sweet spots of life or the positive side of life. Please forgive me if I have misheard, misunderstood or misquoted you. Could you kindly let us know whether the Buddha meant this to be applied only in a specific context or whether generally to life? It would be great if Bhante could let us know of a place in the Pali Canon that we could further read about this. I am puzzled after hearing this, as if we only look at the positive side of life. I believe we will never be able to fully understand the first noble truth, as it entails accepting the suffering in existence. A clarification on this would be much appreciated.
So you can write a PhD thesis on that particular sutta. It is called Metta Sahagata Sutta. In the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha mentioned Subha Paramaham Bhikkhave Metta Cheto Vimukting Vadami Idapanyasa Puggalo Uttaring Appadi Vijjantasa. It's a very long history is there, but to break that argument, the Buddha says, see only the love spots in your life till you become Arahantship. At the Arahantship, that also will be dropped. So therefore, make the life enjoyable. Make the life a hobby, rather than hinting others and torturing yourself, and that even without your torturing, life is torturing. Why should you add some? So therefore the Buddha is giving so much of ways and means how to sit comfortably, how to talk only positive things, do only meaningful things. Don't do for the sake of society. That is slavery. Don't do this any kind of thing just to satisfy people. It is misuse of your words. And don't think unwanted things, just forget about. And therefore, see only the love spots. So otherwise, you just Pollyanna. I just wanted to send it to Vincent. You read it. And that is the simple meaning of metta. And then you find Buddhism is something ambiguity. At a time you are asking to see the low spots, other side you are asking to do the truth of suffering. This ambiguity of the truth is been mentioned by Vettamuni, and after discussing with Venerable Jnanavira, and everything Buddha mentioned he has denied on the other side. So those who are believing Buddha in the linear system, they get really crucified. They crumbled. It's contradictory. Everywhere, here the Buddha says atta, he says no atta. Here he says suffering, other side he says love spots. And to understand where to, in the appropriate way, it's very difficult. So therefore, before preaching others, put into yourself and see when to apply this love spots, so subha parama. And at the beginning, you have to give it. Otherwise, body will not give the support. And once you above and over and above the body, forget about, be with the earth element. Earth element is not asking any subha parama. When that self-egoistic is gone. And there, you keep on with advancing. So this area, it will become a real joke when people talk about the philosophy. Buddhist philosophy is a joke. But they are going with the linear system. But the teaching of the Buddha is three-dimensional. It's a global. So whenever you take one strand in the three-dimensional teaching, it appears linear, but it can't stand by itself. It has to, when it's integral with the whole system, definitely opposite is there within the Buddhism. So it appears like self-contradictory, but never contradicting each other. It's make the dynamism, dialectic nature, dynamic nature. So before Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw is writing this, the serious book, his teacher told, don't write. Whenever you write, you contradict. Because people they are linear. They don't understand. They understand only in the theoretical sense. They understand in the philosophical sense. So then contradictory. And if you are there, you can of course answer. But you are dying, you will die. Book will be there. Ultimately, book will be a contradiction. Even with that danger only, Mahasi Sayadaw ultimately wrote this book. And he mentioned there at the beginning, it's better not to write because writing is a commitment. Then people utterly misunderstand. Rather than listening. When you are listening, you can sort out then and there. So that is how the religion began deteriorated slowly. So if you wish, read 4 stages of the religion. Religious is deteriorating. Very classical in the Christianity. Now the Buddhism is following the same. More and more you get the fame and gain. People attracted to Buddhism, not to enlightenment, but due to its prolific nature, it appears very philosophical. It appears like healing. So when you come there, ultimately these kind of contradictions are there about the love spots and the truth of suffering. So better to take that particular sutta, Metta Thagata Sutta in the Samyutta Nikaya, and you will see what a kind of a message Buddha brought up to now, 2500 years, undistorted, only for the people have Yoniso Manasikara, not for the linear kind of thinking people. For them it is another frustration, another tension, or another trap. So therefore, those who are meditating, those who are using the teaching of the Buddha to liberate, still they have to be very, very alert, diligent, and find their own way. But if you are try to find a formula from A to Z, never it works. The formula you use at the A is not valid at the B. The formula you use at the B is not valid at the C, because it's evolving. So therefore, at the beginning, the metta is there, loving kindness, love sports, glad game, everything there. But toward the end, they are the childish thing, kindergarten level, you must have. But when you become mature, you become irrespective of them, you understand the truth. So therefore, the simple answer for this question is the Metta Sagata Sutta in the Samyutta Nikaya. So it took only less than 15 minutes, so we have another 45 minutes. Of course, we have 1.5 hours. Yesterday we reduced it to 1. So if anyone wish to make use the time, invite it.
Venerable Bhante, when I was doing my walking meditation, just continuing doing what I've been doing, just watching the cycle of the walking movement, that brought about other cycles in our life. Is that the vijnana doing its kind of magic things at the time, or is just that's a natural thing? Because it felt to me like a natural, like you're deducing.
What do you mean by cycle?
Cycle.
So you have to give examples, then I can see whether you are hallucinating or you are practical.
So when I was doing the seeing the cycle of the walking, it made me realize again about the cycle of the breathing, the cycle of cyclic nature of everything.
So does that understanding of the cyclic nature disturbing your direct touch with the breath?
No, nothing.
So then it's an endowment, it's a gift. It's called fractionism, it's called chaotic theory. Have you heard about? Everything has its own nature. So everything happening in cyclic order. So that's why the Buddha says, kalpa also in the cyclic order, breath also in cyclic order. Understand one, that you understand everything. So it's a fractal theory. If you reduce everything, any small fractal, anything is represented by single fractal or holography. So when you are focusing attention to one thing, not only about or understanding of that thing, but the relationship with other things also, it's a natural. But it happens when and where you associate one thing for longer time. So when you are going longer, you feel like you are limited to the factor. But it is not happening. It is relationship also happening. It's a gift. So, but don't suppress them and don't put in front of practicality also. You see that how to behave towards that endowment, the gift. So you all understand it's a byproduct. Your main product is to be with the primary object. And so that you will get more and more information about the primary object, the color, shape, manner, the longer time. And its a byproduct is, you understand, even though I have adverted my mind to one particular tiny dot, that tiny dot is represent the whole universe. Relationship is the way it is happening. Don't disturb it and don't put before the practical senses. And then you see it is not you. That is called Akash library. That's called the cosmic energy. Ultimately, you don't know where does this knowledge is coming. When you are reading a book, you are limiting your knowledge to that particular book. But when you are associating one thing for a long time, the knowledge is throbbing, coming in bulk. The only thing is just accommodate. That is called facilitate it. Don't get proud. Because it is none of you. It's a kind of a caliber. So when more and more you go there, ultimately you find this is natural, this is nothing special. And you only block this inflow of this knowledge by selecting one. Then you are rejecting all the knowledge. But here also you selected one definitely. But when you go through it, that you start a limiting factor, limiting nature is reducing, and by walking you can get enlightened. By seeing the breath you can get enlightened. By seeing the rising and falling you can get enlightened. Anything. So therefore don't think that enlightenment is only related with the breath, or left and right, or lifting, dropping movement. No. You have to understand whenever it is come to the equilibrium, and when the equilibrium happens, you are in a momentum. You can't stop it. Only you can disturb it. And then the synchronizing happens, and that is what you call the aesthetic part. When everything is in a balance. So you are just down to the totality, contented, withdrawing yourself and see from the third person's viewpoint, and things are happening, and you know that each and everyone can understand due to their desire, due to their craving, they block the universal unconscious. When you go to your unconscious, it is universal, it is enlightened already. So you have to let things happen rather than doing. Whenever you do something, you stop unconscious. So when walking meditation happens, not only walking, painting, arithmetic, mathematics, or sculpture, anything when you get absorbed into that, things are happening. So therefore the Buddha is the most aesthetic man. He never go in search of, he says what is available you take it and go to it, go through it, and then ultimately you are exposed to the universal knowledge. So it is quite possible.
One more question, Bhante. In my sitting meditation, whilst being in the space, I was there for most of the time with the small changes happening in the body. I was seeing it, but seeing through it, I'm going into the space again. Is that what you referred to yesterday by whatever is primary that's coming in your sitting posture, see through it? So for me, it felt like whatever I was looking at, seeing through it, I keep going back to the space.
So that means thing and nothing is interrelated. Thing cannot exist without nothing. Nothing can rely without existing thing. So therefore, first you start with thing, positive, and it start going into pieces. So don't consider as a destruction. You see, even though it's going to pieces, it never fall apart. So you try to see through these cracks. And there is a space. And if you facilitate it, ultimately everything appears like a beehive going into the swarming, flying, and not like a hive, but spread, but nothing damaged. And there you can see it is a larger picture. And there you can see when you are in space, you can't understand you are in a space unless otherwise there is something to hit. No space. You can't understand no space without the background of space. So that relativity is what we are understanding in a elucidate way. So when it happens, only in here, now I am dimension. It cannot happen in the past, future, other places, other being. So therefore, here now I am is very boring. When it go there, this going to pieces without falling apart happens. So still, if you consider this as a threat, again you are at lost. You have to go prepared, and there is no magic. It's such a normal thing. It is such a day-to-day thing. But the thing is alignment. Even if it happens, Next day, to get that same alignment, it asks so much of preparation, so much of variables. But later, once you mastered, just you command, you can by commanding, you can go into that. That is because of the mastery. So keep on practicing till you go up to that level. Your faith is quite crucial. To do, yes, one day it will come. For the moment, I have to give the conducive conditions or facilitating. Later, mastery happens. But this is related only the matter and non-matter. But feeling perception, still we have to go higher classes. This is materiality. But the same formula, different dimension with respect to the feelings, perception. But once you very clear about the matter, the concrete thing, easily you can apply to the others, and giving enough chance and giving enough time, naturally they will be given as a gift. Thorough about this materiality or common sense, then you become qualified further. Okay, now if there are no questions, we can go for 1 hour walking, and today also can get together for a sitting meeting at 4 o'clock. Okay, thank you very much for the participation. This is the end of the question and answer session.